Hello and welcome to my weekly video blog, and today on A Vogel Talks Menopause I'm going to be discussing things that wake you up in the middle of the night. Now, a few weeks ago I posted a blog about how things during the day can affect your sleep. So if you haven't seen that one, then please check that one out first, because it's always better to try and prevent something from happening rather than waiting until you wake up in the middle of the night and then have to sort it. But there's a number of symptoms that we know of that can very often wake you up in the middle of the night, can cause a lot of sleep issues, and I thought I would run through them, and also some of the little tips that might actually help you to minimize them or to help you get back to sleep a lot quicker. So here we go. Well, number one is obviously going to be the night sweats. These can be minor ones. You might get woken up now and again with a night sweat, and in which case it's normally fine just to try and get back to sleep. But for a lot of women, these night sweats can go on and on during the night. They can be very distressing. They can soak you enough for you to have to get up and change your bedding and change your clothes, and then any thought of sleep is just a no-go. So what can you do for the night sweats? Remember, first of all, dehydration is a big issue. So that first night sweat that you get that wakes you up, make sure that you have a little glass of water by your bedside, because extra dehydration from the first night sweat can then trigger more of them during the night. The really important thing here, though, is to have a good look at your bedding and your nightwear. Man-made fibres are great. They wash easily, they dry quickly, but they will not allow your body to breathe. And when you're having severe night sweats, it's an indication that your body is having a real struggle at regulating your body temperature. So you need to be in bed and have night clothes that are breathable as possible. So we're looking at natural fibres. You could be looking at things mainly like cotton, although silk can be a great one if we want to go to those lengths. Now, the type of bedding you have is also really important. If at all possible, try and go for natural down duvets. The reason being is that before you go to bed each night, you can really plump them up. You can allow lots of air in there, and that's going to be absolutely great at helping your body to breathe and regulate its temperature. So a good plump up before bed is a really good idea. Try and do the same if you can with pillows. Give them a good plump up too, because a lot of the night sweats can very often be the neck and the head, and that's possibly because you're maybe lying on a man-made fibre pillow that's not allowing you to breathe that way. We've also got these mattress toppers, these memory foam mattress toppers. Now, they are great for comfort. I really love mine, but your body sinks into them, and it allows absolutely no space between whatever part of your body is on the mattress and the mattress, and you can really sweat a lot from having these types of mattresses. So for night sweats and night flushes, these are really best avoided. The other thing that you can have, which I've been told is really good, is if you get one of the real wool bed fleeces, one of these under blankets, because they're made of real sheep's wool, they absorb sweat very, very easily. So you can either lie directly on top of them or put a cotton sheet on the top. And the great thing about these ones, because they're very, very light, they wash really easy, so you could have a couple on the go, and it means that you're just washing the bedding on a regular basis. If you have to get up during the night and change either your bedding or your clothes, try to have a really dim light on in the bedroom. If you have a bright light, that's going to stir your brain up, and it's going to make it much more difficult to get back to sleep once you're comfortable. So have as dim as a light as you possibly can, and have everything by the bedside so that you don't have to go wandering around through doors and cupboards. The more we move during the night when we get up, then the more our body is awakened, if you like, and then it becomes more difficult to get to sleep. So have everything ready in that way so you can get back into bed as quick as possible, and remember that extra drink. Now, it doesn't mean to be a lot, because if you drink too much, within an hour or two, you're going to be running to the toilet. I love these little shot glasses because they are just about the right amount of water that you need to help you get back to sleep. So, next thing, which is also a big one, is joint aches and pains. And this can be really debilitating again. You know, if you're in a lot of pain, if your joints are aching, it can wake you up, but it also means you can never get comfortable in bed. You're never going to be able to relax properly in order to help you to get to sleep. Now, in this instance, as long as you're not getting the night sweats as well, then probably one of these memory foam toppers would be a really good idea, because they can help to support your body really well. The other thing you can look at is to take a magnesium supplement before you go to bed, or to try some of the magnesium skin sprays. The reason being is, if you're low in magnesium, that can cause muscle tightness, and that can then pull on the joints and make the joints more uncomfortable. So relaxing your muscles as you're going to bed can be of real benefit to easing joint pain in the middle of the night. And again, joint pain in the night can be due to hydration, so remember to be drinking that little bit of water just before you go to bed. You can also look at the herb Devil's Claw. You could take that maybe an hour before bed, because that's known to help to ease joint inflammation and pain too. We've got palpitations. Oh, this is a horrible one. This was one of my symptoms. You're just getting off to sleep, and suddenly the heart kicks in and it starts thumping away, and you're just thinking, oh, something terrible is going to happen. It's an awful one. This is due to the nervous system being triggered, either by what you're thinking about, or the fact that your nervous system has been really revved up during the day. So if you get a lot of nighttime palpitations, first of all, do get it checked out by your doctor, just in case it's not related to the menopause. Then you need to look at definitely calming yourself in the evening, calming drinks, calming thoughts, books, TV, and what have you. But if you wake up and you're getting a palpitation, one of the easiest ways to control it is to start doing some really deep, slow breathing. And this is a nice one to practice, because eventually it will become second nature. The minute you find the palpitations kicking in, you can go into good relaxation, and that can help a great deal as well. You could also look at the magnesium night spray just before you go to bed, to help to calm the nervous system down. If it's the thoughts that are keeping you awake and causing the palpitations, we've got one of the lovely flower essences, which is Night Essence, and that's a great one just for shutting off all those thoughts and calming the mind. We've got women who wake up, 3-4 o'clock in the morning, they're wide awake, they're raring to go. And it seems for some women that they need less sleep during the menopause. Some women find they get up, they've got plenty of energy, and then they need to go back to bed about 6 o'clock because the tiredness comes on again. For other women, it just becomes a routine that you need to get up earlier. If you find you're waking earlier and earlier and you're still a bit tired, then it really is a good idea to try and get to bed that little bit earlier in the evening, so you're still getting a decent amount of sleep, because we know sleep is vital for the menopause. If, however, you find at 4 o'clock you're up, you're wide awake, and you want to get up, you want to move about, use this time well. Don't get up and start doing the housework or the ironing or washing the floors, because you then rev yourself up. Your nervous system kicks in, because you're like, oh, what can I do? Oh, I must do this and I must do that. So before you've even started your day, your nervous system is already in gear. So use this time for yourself, especially if no one else is up in the house. You can do some reading, you can do just listen to nice music. Use the time to meditate. It's a great time first thing in the morning to get the meditation done, and then the rest of the day you'll be in a much better state. You can use it to do things you want to do but don't have time to do during the day. I know someone who gets up and uses that time as her painting time, and just remember it can be such a nice start to the day to start really quietly. If you have a quick burst of energy and find that you do all these things and then you need to go back to bed, you might find that just getting an extra couple of hours after you've done that little bit of gentle activity will give you a nice little power sleep before you have to get up and start the rest of your day. Now, the next one is the bladder. This is a horrible one because we can end up having an irritated bladder, which can be really uncomfortable and sometimes can be very sore. We can have a weak bladder, so both of these can end up waking us up in the middle of the night, and there's nothing worse than having to run to the toilet and go back to bed, and you're just settling down and then you think, oh, I need to go again. So you can get really disrupted sleep with this. Now, what we tend to do here is we think, well, I'm getting up during the night, therefore if I don't drink anything at night or in the evening, I won't need to get up to go to the toilet. The problem here is if you don't drink enough during the night, your urine is going to get very acidic, it's going to get very concentrated, and if your bladder is already on the weak side, then that acidic urine is going to irritate the bladder, that's going to wake you up, and you're going to want to go to the toilet. So this is another situation where drinking plenty of water during the day is going to help. Watch what you drink in the evening, and try that little shot glass of warm water before you go to bed. Every time you get up to go to the toilet in the middle of the night, have a little glass of water once you're finished. The reason being is if you don't, if your urine is already acidic and then you go back to bed, then the next lot of urine that starts to collect in the bladder is going to be even more acidic, and that's going to irritate the bladder further. So get into the habit. I always have a little shot glass by my sink, and I just make it a habit. If I have to get up during the night, then I drink a glass of that before I go back to bed. It can be really helpful. Now, the digestion can be one that can wake us up in the middle of the night, and the classic sign, if you wake up between 1 a.m. and 3 p.m, this is a classic sign that your liver is overactive and it's working too hard. And it can just be the busyness of the liver. You're not obviously going to feel the liver churning away, but the activity of the liver can be enough to break through your sleep. And remember that in the menopause, lower estrogen stops us from having a really deep sleep. So we're in a situation where our sleep is much lighter. And if our digestive system starts to work up, then that can be enough to wake us up. It can be the liver. So if you're waking up between 1 and 3 o'clock, something like milk thistle complex can be a lovely one to take just to help to support liver function. But it can sometimes just be a one-off. You know, if you've had a late meal, if you've had a very stodgy meal, if you've had a very fatty meal, then these can really stress your digestive system, and that will wake you up as well. If you're in a lot of discomfort, or if you find this is happening regularly, then look at what you're eating in the evening and then maybe go for a lighter option and eat a little bit earlier in the evening. But we have a lovely remedy called yarrow complex, which is a nice digestive aid, and you could have a little glass with some drops of that sitting by the bedside if you're waking up on a regular basis for that as well. Now, you could also try something called Balance. We've got a drink that's a combination of calcium, magnesium and zinc and vitamin D3. And very often, if you've had a really heavy meal, it can acidify the body. So Balance drink